So the Kansas City Chiefs this last year were doubted. Most people thought they would take a step back, losing their best corner and their best wide receiver. And that didn't matter. They won the Super Bowl. The Chiefs this year, 14-1 team? I'm just trying to double check. Doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes is far and away the best quarterback in the world. And so the Chiefs move into this offseason as the reigning AFC West champs for the fifth straight year as kind of the cool kid on the block. Everybody wants to be them, right? So they have nine picks, 31, 63, 95. They have 2 picks from the Dolphins in the 4th and 6th rounds. But the one concern here is that both of their tackles are free agents. 3 of their 5 top receivers are free agents. And effective cap space, they have about -$8 million. BC, let's kick it off with you. It seems like Andy Reid is staying. Doesn't seem like there's any inclination he's retiring off the Super Bowl, which would be super badass if he did. What do you think is the priority this offseason for the Chiefs to maintain the top of the NFL?
It's going to be interesting. So obviously a big major thing is Eric Bieniemy is not the offensive coordinator anymore. But Matt Nagy, the former OC of the Chiefs, is now the OC again of the Chiefs. Once again, sorry for being redundant. But we all know it's Andy Reid's system. It doesn't. I mean, they're going to have some. Nagy and Bieniemy had a little bit of influence, but it was really Andy's scheme. Chad Henne, the backup quarterback that everybody fell in love with late in his career, retired.
A great career.
What a great career, right? What a great career. Don't be disrespectful, John. Come on, man.
I'm not joking. He's actually one of my favorite backups.
So, like you said, both of the tackles are free agents. We got a lot of free agents here. I'm looking at Jerick McKinnon is a free agent, McCole Hardman, Carlos Dunlap, Orlando Brown, like you said.
Derek Nottie, Juan Thornhill, Andrew Wiley. Orlando Brown's the biggest one.
He is the biggest one. So you said that they only have -$8 million. They have negative money?
Well, an effective cap space per spot rack.
I don't think you think that. I don't know if they get away with franchise tagging Orlando Brown. I think he might walk. I have a feeling they get Juju back. I think Juju might take a pay cut for them to come back because I think he actually enjoys being with Patrick Mahomes, and especially not having that much pressure on him. So I do think they retain JJ. I think Juju. Sorry. I think the draft is going to be very important, though. So, like you said, they have their first. They have the second. They did have a 2/3, but they traded one of them, so they have 1/3 and 2/4. One of them is from Miami. So using those picks very well is going to be interesting. I mean, we just saw that they were able to steal a guy in Isaiah Pacheco late in the draft last year. So Andy knows he's got his schemes on what type of players he likes. So I'm not I'm not going to be too worried about the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're going to be able to figure it out, and I think regardless, they're going to be either the number 1 team in the AFC West or the number 2 in terms of record. But no concerns with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to worry about. Even going into the season, we all had them, even though a lot of people were concerned about the loss of Tyreek Hill and how it was going to affect the offense. Patrick Mahomes cleared any doubts in week 1. So I really just feel like this team, no matter what, as long as you have 15 under center, you still have Kelsey there on the offense, they're going to be okay. And with the rookies that they had a ton of rookies playing in that Super Bowl, and a lot of them stepped up. They've done a great job through the draft. They had some late draft steals, adding guys like Kadarius Toney, who flamed out with the Giants, but seemed to have found a home there in KC. Sky Moore is probably going to get way more reps on the offensive end now this upcoming season. I think they're going to be in a fine position. I assume McCole Hardman is going to go. This is a weak free agent class for wide receivers. I could see him getting paid to go elsewhere, so they're going to let him test the market. I think they draft a receiver. I think they go out there. I wouldn't be surprised if Orlando Brown. You said they can't tag him, but
I don't know. I said I don't know if they will. They can get away with it again. Like how much money it's going to cost them.
I don't know how you let somebody walk like that. I think they would prefer to hold on to him and just continue to build.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. So where do you? So like, I think offensive line, possibly tackle, is a very important position in the draft. Like you said, receiver might be an important position, but I don't think it's a major necessity for the Chiefs because they have Mahomes and they believe he can make guys better. Linebacker is a point of interest I'm looking at. Maybe defensive line. Chris Jones and Frank Clark are getting up there in age. Defensive back. Where do you guys go? Maybe first 2 rounds for Kansas City if you're Kansas City.
With Nick Bolton and Willie Gay, they're cool at linebacker. They'll have to pay Gay. And with L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie, they're good at cornerback. Their emphasis defensively is that defensive line. Justin, you talked about those rookies. They have Leo Chanel at linebacker. You've got George Karlaftis as well, who was drafted to replace Frank Clark. I don't think they're going to bring him back. And Carlos Dunlap as well. Frank Clark's not a free agent, but Carlos Dunlap is. So the number one priority for this team is tackle. It's tackle. That was their concern this year with Andrew Wiley. And Orlando Brown, while he's wanting to get paid, his market value is $22 million. He was an issue for them oftentimes. Now he has a great resume. He has a great the name value of a player goes a long way at tackle. You know, Quentin Nelson has struggled the last 2 years, but you hear Quentin Nelson, your ears perk up. The same goes with Orlando Brown. He was not good in many stretches, and I'm not paying him more $50 million. I'm sorry, I can get a left tackle for $4 million in the draft in the second round. That'll probably, if you can hit on him, give you a lot of that same value back at left tackle. And then I think receiver, it's a concern, man, because Juju's market value is going to be around $14 million this offseason. He just won a Super Bowl. With the Steelers, he was a great slot receiver that adjusted his role accordingly when Ben was regressing. He just had one injury plagued season. So I look at wide receiver, Brand, and left tackle, or right tackle, more so than left tackle, as the two key areas needed.
I think Juju is a receiver that. No, I'm sorry. The Canelo. So.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Justin.
When you guys are talking, I'm talking over y'all. But yeah, but I feel like Juju's a guy that is replaceable in this Kansas City scheme. He didn't hold on fire. He had a good season. I don't think he eclipsed over 1,000 yards. Anyway, but good piece for that kind of price tag though. I don't find that to be worth it. Like I feel like this is a deep receiving class in the draft. I think you go get yourself somebody that fits your scheme. Like I said, as you got Kadarius Toney, you got Sky Moore, you got Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco. You'll be fine. Find yourself another guy, a receiver that may stretch the field, and you're fine.
I agree with you. Juju's a good fit with Mahomes, but the draft every year we see, like last year, George Pickens was a stud for the Steelers, and he may not be a top 5 receiver from that class. Sky Moore is a great example. Sky can take a big step forward this year. We saw him doing the AFC Championship game. I think he's going to be a really good player with Kadarius. And being at the pay Tony next year, I think with that 31st overall pick, they may look to move up actually and take the best player on the board. And Brett Veach, if there's one thing that he is not getting enough credit for, it's making killer moves in the drafts. He'll have his misses like any GM. But at the end of the day, they've still not lost to the Broncos in a long time. And this last year, they didn't lose a single game in the AFC West. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, final point for me. I wanted to say to the Chiefs fans, if we're not sounding like super enthusiastic or, hyped about this, because the Chiefs have come to the point where we expect them to be great in the regular season. Like we expect them to make the right moves in the offseason, to make the right moves in the draft, find players similar to a New England Patriots or a Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll find a way to be good. Great now. That's why. So it's just the expectations are so high now that it's just like we understand where the assignment. We know what it is. You're the Chiefs now, so you should actually take pride in that you guys have reached that point.
I still can't believe this is real. My brother Joe is a Chief fan, and seeing all the pain that he went through at the days of not being quite good enough in the AFC, so now he won't stop making fun of me because as a Steeler fan, the roles have reversed. It's bittersweet. I'm happy for my brother and all my Chief fans out there because, quite frankly, they're they might be the best fan base in football. The Steelers are first, but they're a close second, without a doubt.
They don't respect the past.
Well, the Steelers were never good enough in the AFC.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, John.